The reason why he makes videos is because of the clickbait. The reason why he makes videos is because of the people watching, because of the adverts. You know, people need to wake up almost. You know, people should be asking for more. People should be expecting more. Just that Rafi Tulfo is going to solve all of their problems. You know, Rafi Tulfo is not God.
Medyo dumugo ang ilong natin doon mga kababayan kasi English yun. Pero medyo naiintindihan natin ang sinabi ni Sir Malcolm Conlan. Hindi ka Diyos, Rapi Tulfo. Bakit ngayon mo lang sinasabi yung mga sinasabi mong yan? Ba't hindi mo sinabi yan noong medyo matagal pa ang termino ni President Duterte? Bakit ngayon patapos na ang termino niya? Chinek ko po ang YouTube account ni Sir Rapi Tulfo. Nag-backfire lahat ng sinabi niya dun sa video niya kung saan hinamon niya mga Duterte supporters. From 22 million subscriber, 21 million na lang po si Rapi Tulfo. At kung di pa po kayo nakapag-unsubscribe sa kanya, kayo pong bahala. Kung gusto niyo pong mag-unsubscribe, bahala po kayo. Pero bago natin panoorin yung banat na yan ni Sir Malcolm Conlan, kung bago lang po kayo sa PH Update, huwag niyo po kalimutan mag-subscribe at i-click ang bell notification button para lagi po kayong updated sa ating mga reaction video na kagaya nito. Walang clickbait dito mga kababayan, totoo lang at walang kabayas-bayas ang ating binabalita dito sa PH Update. Hayun na nga no mga kababayan, binanatan nitong sikat na Duterte supporter na si Sir Malcolm Conlan. Etong si Rapi Tulfo sa kanyang paghamon sa mga Duterte supporters. 16 million versus 40 million plus na subscriber daw niya sa mga social media accounts niya, magkakaalaman daw sa 2022 national election. Anong nangyari dun sa video niya? Binura niya. Pagkatapos, bagsak ang views ni Rapi Tulfo at napakarami ng nag-unsubscribe dyan sa YouTube channel ni Sir Rapi Tulfo. Ito kasi yung issue dito sa ibang mga YouTuber. Pagka dumami ng subscriber nila, lumalaki ang ulo. Akala mo na kung sino. Porket ba milyon-milyon ng subscriber mo, ibig sabihin ikaw na ang susuportahan yan sa 2022 national election. For all I know nga, nanonood lang yung mga viewers mo at mga subscriber mo, Sir Rapi Tulfo. Walang personal to ha, idol ko yan si Sir Rapi Tulfo. Entertaining yung mga video mo. Pampalipas oras ika nga. Ang konkreto kong halimbawa dyan ay ang aking nanay dahil idol na idol niya si Sir Rapi Tulfo at pinapanood niya to pampalipas ng oras. Pero solid Duterte supporters po ang nanay ko. Shoutout sa aking nanay. Di ko alam kung napapanood niya to. Para sa buong detalye mga kababayan, sabay-sabay nating intindihin kahit na medyo English yan. Intindihin natin ang sinasabi ni Sir Malcolm Conlan. Paki-comment naman po sa baba kung agree po kayo sa sinasabi ni Sir Malcolm Conlan na King of Pinoy Bait, ha? King of Pinoy Bait etong si Rapi Tulfo. Ibig sabihin po nung King of Pinoy Bait, yung tipong maglalagay ng thumbnail sa video para maging kaaya-aya siyang i-click ng ating mga kababayang OFW at yung ating mga kababayan na hindi ganun kagaling sa YouTube. Para sa buong detalye, ito na si Sir Malcolm Conlan.
I just wanted to speak to you guys about Rafi Tulfo in action and his show, his YouTube, and the recent developments that have been taking place. What I wanted to do was just start by saying that I've got nothing personally against anybody who is helping Filipinos. You know, I know there's lots of problems in the Philippines. I know there's poverty in the Philippines, and I know a lot of people can't afford lawyers. They can't afford to get sometimes the help that they need. Sometimes people can't afford medical care, etc. So I really don't blame anybody for seeking help. In fact, I don't blame anybody for going on the Rafi Tulfo show as a way of trying to improve their lives or if they have a particular difficulty. But the way I see it is this: the only reason why Rafi Tulfo is so successful is because of this so-called Pinoy baiting. In that, people will watch a video because they think it might change their lives or they want to hear about the successes of others. But not only that, you know, Rafi Tulfo highlights issues of people who've gone through difficulties in life or people who experience poverty, etc. And there's a lot of people who want to watch about poverty. There's a lot of people who want to watch the hardships and the suffering of others. And anything that basically you do towards the Philippines, or if you're writing about the Philippines or speaking about the Philippines, you're going to get Filipinos around the world watching it, or so-called Pinoy baiting. But the real issue is this. You know, so many people can click on a particular YouTube channel and then they'll never engage with it ever again. You know, it's very easy to click like or to follow and then have no interest whatsoever. But the thing that's really got me and the thing that's really upset me is that Rafi Tulfo talks about his 40 or so million subscribers or how many millions of likes he's got. And then he tries to compare that to the 16 million people who voted for President Duterte. It's very, very easy to click on a particular YouTube video or click on a particular channel. It only takes a second to click. It doesn't mean that you're going to spend the rest of your life watching their videos. You don't need to sign up to anything. You don't need to enroll in anything. You don't need to give a copy of your bio data, or you don't need to give an impression of your fingerprint to like a video. So there's a massive amount of difference between people who like or subscribe to a YouTube video as compared to people who actually physically take the time to vote. The reason why 16 million Filipinos voted for President Duterte was because they were sick and tired of corruption. They were sick and tired of poverty. They were sick and tired of illegal drugs in their barangay. And the question is, Mr. Rafi Tulfo, with the greatest respect, you know, I appreciate that people watch your show. I appreciate that people go to you when they need help. But with the greatest respect, Mr. Rafi Tulfo, what I'd like to know is this. If you have an issue about President Duterte, if you have an issue about the way that he operates, why didn't you say anything in the first place? Why do you leave it now until there's only 10 months of President Duterte's time as president before you suddenly make an issue out of this? Why have you remained silent up until now? Because you know that people would stop subscribing to you or unsubscribe to you. You know that people would be put off and wouldn't watch your videos. So the question is, it's all very well now saying about, I've got so many millions of subscribers and that meant that if I run for office, I would get votes. But, you know, the way I see it is this. President Duterte doesn't just make videos or give a few pounds to the poor or anything like that. President Duterte doesn't just record a few videos and that's the end of the story. No, he's worked incredibly hard for many, many decades within Davao and now, you know, in the Philippines. You know, he'll work night and day, 24/7. And the thing is, when he's doing that, he doesn't make millions of pounds a year or £1 million a month for doing that. He earns the salary of a president, which is a lot less than you're making. So instead of criticizing President Duterte, why not work with him for the betterment of the Philippines? I know that you'll give money to people, and I'm sure people are very grateful about that. But when I watch one of your videos, or I look at how many people have liked your video or watched your video, most of your videos are watched by 1 million people. Now, you don't need to be an idiot to know that 1 million YouTube views is about the equivalent of around about £3,000 per video. Now, you're pushing out videos at the rate of knots. Sometimes you're making 2 or 3 videos in a day. So let's just say you make 3 videos in a day. That's £9,000 UK, or maybe $11,000. Now, if you're doing that a week, that's £70,000 pounds a week. If you're doing that in a month, it's £280,000 a month, or maybe £3 or £4 million per year. Probably I would estimate and say probably more. Probably you're making about £10 million a year. Now, how much of that are you giving back to Filipinos? Firstly, are you paying at least £2 or £3 million tax on that, which is probably what you should be paying? And secondly, what are you actually doing for Filipinos? You know, particular people, you might give them a few thousand pesos, or you might help them to start a business or whatsoever. But will that end poverty? Will that end corruption? Will that actually do anything to change the lives of the Filipino people? You know, the problem is when people are going on your show, it means they're airing their dirty linen in public, i.e., you know, they're almost embarrassing themselves. I understand why people go on your show, because they're absolutely desperate. Maybe they can't afford a lawyer. Maybe they can't afford any legal expenses. But the fact is, you are making money out of people suffering. You are making money out of people who are downtrodden, and people have to share their intimate details. I just watched a video today that upset me, and most of it was in Tagalog. But within that video, there was a woman who basically got pregnant in one of these hotel, if you like, kind of encounters with a Filipino guy. Basically, she was telling her story. She got pregnant as a result of that. You had her on the show. Now, what I noticed that's really, really petty and really, really sad and utterly shameful is that each time that particular woman had basically said something, or there was a picture of her or something, there'll be like a wow and a clap or something like that. Somebody would have narrated that within the particular clip. So each time that woman was on the screen, or you saw that woman talking, or you saw a picture of her, there'll be like some kind of clap, and it's basically like it was made a joke, or you would make a joke of a situation just to get cheap laughs, or just to get people watching that particular video. But you know what I'm most upset about is, what about looking at it another way? What about educating this particular lady? Or what about maybe reflecting on how bad the man was? Basically, the man just made her pregnant and then he left or whatever. What about education? Education's important. It's very, very easy to make some kind of story. It's very, very easy to laugh about the misfortune of somebody just to basically get social media hits. But why not look at it another way? Why not look at it from a sympathetic point of view? And if you're basically having this video edit where there are people clapping or going, wow, when the lady's on, the guy was quite good looking himself. What about, wouldn't it be fair if when the guy was on, there'd be the same thing? There'll be the clapping or wow, or does it basically mean that there is an element of sexism? There is an element of sexism within that particular video. You know, you got to look at it, really. If you're going to say things about President Duterte, if you're going to say things about just because you've got 40 million subscribers, it certainly means you're going to win an election. You know, you need to look about your conduct the whole time. You know, I don't mean you any personal disrespect. You know, I don't know about all of your videos. I haven't watched about all of your videos. But what really annoys me is every single time there's any problem in the Philippines, every single time I post anything of any kind of difficulty, somebody says, go to Tulfo. Like Tulfo is some kind of god, like he's going to change the world's problems in the Philippines. But the reality is, you know, Tulfo is only as good as his subscribers. If people didn't subscribe, if people didn't watch those videos, if people didn't engage in that clickbait or Pinoy baiting, and basically he only got 100 views, he wouldn't make any more videos. The reason why he makes videos is because of the clickbait. The reason why he makes videos is because of the people watching, because of the adverts. You know, people need to wake up almost, you know. People should be asking for more. People should be expecting more. Just that Raffy Tulfo is going to solve all of their problems. You know, Raffy Tulfo is not God. Rafi Tulfo cannot solve the world's problems. What can solve the world's problems is a proper election process and a proper legitimate process. You know, signing to a video or clicking on a particular video is not going to elect a new leader of the Philippines. You know, the fact is, President Duterte has gone so much good in the Philippines, and if Rafi Tulfo had something to say, he should have done so at the beginning of the campaign of President Duterte. He should have done so from day one. Why does he wait now till there's only 10 months remaining before he suddenly comes out on this stuff? Why is he waiting now to show his true colours until there's such a short time that President Duterte has in office? Why? Was he worried? Was he worried that he would be cancelled? Was he worried that people would go after him for taxes or something like that and it would affect his show? You know, isn't that just a little bit hypocritical? Before I end this, I'm going to read some comments. Joel Balori says, good evening, Mr. Conlon of Talisai Cebu. Febs Cadiz Nabor says, hiya, evening, good morning there, sir. Let's go ahead. Febs says, true. Paul De Rossa says, watching from the Philippines. Crams Onerium says, hi, sir, a shout out to you. Rajo says, yes, he talked about that. He is now officially... let's go ahead. Some people commenting in Filipino as well. My Filipino is not that brilliant. And that's right. Melo Kenwood makes a good point that it's marketing and targeting OFWs. Rafi Tulfo knows exactly how he's going to get Filipinos. He knows how he's going to Pinoy bait, how he's going to basically reach out to Filipinos. And it's simple. You know, you do something about poverty porn, you do something like that, and you're going to get people watching. But the question is, will it change lives? And for all the people who've been damaged by appearing on Rafi Tulfo, you need to look at it both ways. You know, that's all I have to say. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Please share, please like. As I said, I've personally got nothing against Rafi Tulfo, you know, as a person, but as a YouTube personality, I don't know enough about him. But as a YouTube personality, you know, the way I see it is this, is that when people like his video, etc., he's making thousands, if not millions of pounds a year. And I don't know how much of that he's actually donating to the people. And, you know, it's all about education and everything else. Anyway, thanks very much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. And everyone who unsubscribed, well done. Sorry I didn't subscribe myself, so I can't unsubscribe. But, you know, I hope people don't mind me making this video. And yeah, Vic, this is what I said. He's not God. You know, it's always annoyed me and frustrated me that whenever there's a problem of any description in the Philippines, people say Tulfo like he's the only person who can do anything about it. Elsa, Filipino watching from Florida. Tulfo shames so many people on the show why he made millions, and the things he says makes me cringe. Be blessed. Watch, you are correct. Shout out to my granddaughter Poleng and Penny. Thank you. Keep safe always. That's from Part Laka. Hi, Levy watching from Germany. And Nilamari Buenaflor. Thank you, Malcolm, for your wisdom and support for Filipinos. And to everybody else watching, maraming salamat po, mabuhay Pilipinas. You know, I'm not doing this video to in any way Pinoy bait or anything like that. I'm doing this because I believe that real change is necessary, and I believe it's up to all of us to defend President Duterte, the President of the Republic of the Philippines. Thank you very much.